The need to help the unhoused community has never been higher, and companies are obviously having to adapt with the pandemic. After providing mobile shower stations and other services in the Bay Area since 2014, Lava Mae has now rebranded to Lava Mae X. The change has also brought in some new leadership. We are now welcoming the new CEO of Lava Mae X, Kris Kepler. Kris, thanks for joining us.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yeah, so we know what Lava Mae restructured this January to become more global, and then, of course, the pandemic hit in March. Can you take me through those first couple of months of how you had to adjust to the pandemic?
Yes, so our new impact goal, we met our previous impact goal of serving 30,000 Californians. And because the need was so great and we got received so many requests to bring our services to communities, we pivoted to teach and mentor other communities to launch our programs. So such as mobile showers, our pop-up care villages, and hand washing stations. We are still delivering services in the Bay Area. We unfortunately had to suspend our services in March due to COVID, but we have since relaunched in Los Angeles and we're relaunching in San Francisco. And in the interim, we didn't want to leave our guests behind. And so we have distributed almost 8,000 hygiene kits on the streets, both in the Bay and in LA.
Okay, wonderful. The need is obviously there. Now your nonprofit is setting a goal to serve 100,000 people moving through homelessness by 2024. Has the pandemic affected that goal as we've come along here?
And we're consulting. So far this year, about 15 of our partners or replicators have launched either mobile hygiene services or hand washing stations. I would say in the beginning of the pandemic, it did, but we've seen a lot of people that have reached out, especially over the summer, because the need is so great. And I think really the pandemic has really highlighted the fact that hygiene is so critical, and there's a lot of community members that want to help their unhoused neighbors. And so we're seeing quite a few people that are wanting to get out there on the streets and help and deliver hygiene as well as other critical services. So we've seen quite an uptick in
Absolutely.
yeah.
And what is the number one issue that you see right now with unhoused people?
Yeah, so I mean, I think a lot of the general public is thinking about, can I go out and go to a restaurant or even sit outside to eat? And what we're seeing is that there's a lot of services that have been cut because of funding. So the unhoused don't have as many services to access for food or water. And also with the closures of libraries, they can't plug in or recharge their cell phone. They can't access water at a Starbucks or even go to the bathroom. So a lot of what we're seeing right now is a lot of medical needs, a lot of wound care. We hit the streets with the UCSF street nursing team that delivers wound care while we give out water and food and then COVID items as well. So masks, hand sanitizers, but it's really desperate. And we're seeing a lot of new faces and families and more people even living in their vehicles. So it's really tough. It's really tough out there right now. But I would say water right now is the biggest thing that people ask for because they just can't access it at any normal place that they usually go to, as well as food and clothes.
Hmm. Now, the doctrine for Lava Mae X is radical hospitality, as you call it. Can you describe what that means and why it's so important?
Yeah, for us, it's really about connecting with people and celebrating in our shared humanity. So when you see somebody that's on the streets or that's unhoused, you look at them, you look them in the eye, you ask them how they are, you hear their stories, and it's really that relationship and that connection that continues to provide hope and restore dignity. And it's really about the human touch and the human just connection for us that makes a difference. So it's not transactional. It's really, how are you? What can we do for you? And is there something in particular we can bring back to you next time? And part of that is just really being compassionate and also being very consistent so that when we show up in our blues, they know who we are and they trust us and we help them. And that's really the magic is going above and beyond to connect and to listen and to look them in the eyes and call them by their name.
Yeah, that is something that a lot of these people just don't get on the daily basis. We're talking dignity, humanity. That is really an important service that you are offering. Can you explain a little bit more about what that gives to people?
Yeah, I mean, to your point, I mean, these, for example, with showers, I mean, if you can imagine when they walk into a shower and they close that door, that's the only 15 or 20 minutes they'll have alone with the door closed, right? So a lot of it is giving them this space to be who they are, to keep them clean and to restore the feeling that when they take that shower, they are worthy, right? They are worthy of love, they are worthy of being clean. And for us, it's really about establishing, like I said, that connection, and also connecting them with other services, with our pop-up care villages, which we're bringing back. We're revising the program to have them a little smaller, is connecting them with partners so that showers are really a gateway to other services to help hold them and help them survive another day. And there's so many stories that we have of our guests that were contemplating committing suicide, or in terms of sometimes if they're just in a really bad state of mind, that they see a friendly face and they say hi. Because if you can imagine, sometimes they don't talk to somebody for a day, for a week, or even for a month, and there's people that haven't showered in 8 months. So being there for them is, in and of itself, makes them feel hopeful.
So it sounds like at this point you're offering several different services for people who aren't familiar with the original Lava Mae. How did this start out? It was just basically mobile showers?
Yeah, it's a really great question. So we started out in 2014 offering mobile showers, and we found that once we were doing that, our guests were going to so many different places to access services, whether it was food or job applications or legal help, that we said, why don't we bring all of our partners to the streets? And we'll offer the showers, but we'll host a village. And so we started mobile showers, and then we wanted to extend our approach to one to many. And that's where we started our pop up care villages. And once we were up and running, we had so many requests, about 4,500 from across the world, of people that said, please bring your services to us. And that's what sparked our idea in 2018, where we launched a mobile hygiene toolkit where we would teach and train anybody to do this work. And we have over 3,000 downloads of that toolkit since 2018. And that's what made us say, wow, our goal is to teach the world how to do this. We can teach and show people this impact instead of us doing it ourselves, because to scale up to that need would be really, really tough. And it's a very hyper local um, solution, right? So those that love and are in their own communities know the best way to serve in their communities. And we're there to help facilitate and consult people through our toolkits and our resources and our one-to-one help for free. So that's our goal, is to get 75 partners or replicators up and running our programs to serve 100,000 people by 2024.
I love that goal. That's fabulous. And for people around here in the Bay Area, we know you're a nonprofit. You're stretched very thinly right now. What can we do to help?
Well, you can donate monetarily, or we also have hygiene kits that we're still distributing. So you can go online and look at our Amazon list and see where you can help donate products and goods for us to distribute on the streets. But I also think, my number one thing that I tell people is, when you're walking on the street and you see somebody, maybe just stop and smile and say hello and see if they need anything. I think that's the most important thing, is just to connect and to look at them as people that they're just going through a rough spot. So how can we help give them hope through giving them as individuals that acknowledgement and see what they need as well.
Well, that is something we can all do. All right, Kris Kepler, the CEO of Lava Mae X, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you. I appreciate it.